Alright, unfortunately I had to waste a lot of time with the camera. I accidentally dropped it and it stopped working, and I made some adjustments. The filming might not be quite the same, but we're going to get the footage anyways. Okay, so where we left off was I was going to make some water, and I already drank the water. You'll see me do more of that. I'm going to drink at least 2-3 more times tonight. And but I didn't eat the can of beans yet, so, and I'm getting hungry now, so I'm going to eat. I've been eating the sunflower seeds for now. And I'm going to repair the cabin tomorrow morning. So that shouldn't take too long, and I'll sleep in the cabin tomorrow night. So what I need to do for the summer shelter is I need to put up the tarp on that one side in case it snows or ice rains. It doesn't come into the shelter. Okay? And maybe get some twigs and sticks. I already have firewood, but no kindling, so to speak. So I'll gather a little bit of that. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring this fire into the shelter. I noticed instead of making 2 fires, I already got this one going. You get one of the plate rocks that I have around here, scoop up some embers and ashes, get the fire started in there. What I want to do right now is put a platform down in the fire pit. The reason why is because there's a lot of ice in there, so I don't want the fire to start melting the ice and put itself out from the water. So I'm going to put a platform, a row of wrist-sized pieces, and should be good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have the fire going in there while I set up the tarp, so I can multitask. And after that, it's about creating a drying rack. So now that I'm at camp, I can do some laundry and wash up. But none of the big stuff today. I'm just going to do the small stuff, like socks, underwear, jersey, my bandanas that I've been using to wipe stuff, clean stuff. This bandana on my head, you know, the one I got here around my neck. Just the small stuff like that, just to clean up. It's good. Out here, there's an easy order to remember what you got to do out here, and it's the same almost in all conditions. It's core body temperature, water, then food, sanitation and hygiene, safety and health. After that, it's all play. Let me show you inside the summer shelter before it starts getting too dark what I'm talking about. That's the shelter I'm sleeping in tonight. It's very big. I can stand up in here. Got a nice bed mat. I got a bed mat that I can sleep on. This is the roof that I have to cover with the tarp, and all the rest is fine. I got a fire guard up there. Now here's the fire pit. It's really long, as you can see, but it's that's my concern. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that while I'm putting up the tarp for the shelter, and which shouldn't take very long. And after that, I want to eat. I'm going to scrape some of these embers and the coals here onto this plate. Once I do that, I'm going to carry it in the shelter. Twigs and sticks. I'll just add to it. So I'm all set up. I'm melting some water here. I'm melting some water I'm going to drink right away in the pan, and some water that I'm going to use to wash my socks, my underwear, my jersey, my bandanas and everything. All the small stuff. I'm going to wash that. So it's a hygiene thing right now, especially day 3, you know? So tomorrow I'm going to wash up. I'll wash myself and wash the rest of my clothes, hang them up to dry them by the fire, you know. And I'll show you an easy way to do that. But for now, I'm going to get a good night's sleep, I can tell you that. I don't need much wood to even fuel this, which is awesome. So, feels good to be back. You know, I feel at home here. I really do. So this is how I'm sleeping tonight. Got my drying rack. Got my pan. Of course there's there's some debris in it. And then I got my pot. My pot is the water that I'm going to use to clean with, and the pan is the water I'm going to use to drink. Should be be all good, and it's steaming too. Let me make some tea, you know? And I'll filter it with the screen of my mosquito head net. It's a smart thing to do. I got some wood over here, so that's definitely going to help me out throughout the night. Sometimes I put it underneath the mat, but it's okay. Got my bag that's hanging up from the ceiling with some parachute cord, and I got the bucket of snow, and I've got the bowl I'm going to use to wash my clothes in. So that's the tripod I use to do the damn thing. Yeah, this is nice. Real nice. Alright, good night, guys. I'm calling it a night. Nice. Oh, another day. Day 4 at the camp. I wouldn't mind some breakfast. I have food here. So I have some sunflower seeds, some beans and corn. So I'll have corn today with some water. I brought a pack of tea with me as well. So we're gonna have that. So the next step for me is I'm going to chop up some pine needles and boil them in this tea down here. There we go, just like that. This is simple stuff you can do. This is natural tea right here. It's going to be nice and warm when I drink it, so I'll feel better before I get the day started. The reason why I'm melting the water to drink is because it's not good to eat the snow. It's okay, but you trade, and what you trade is body heat for hydration. There we go. Do a little mix. I've got some pine needle tea brewing right now. It's just about ready. I've got some other water here I'm going to use to wash with. I'm going to wash my t-shirts first. And I've got some food. I have some cream corn, and I'm going to put the pine needle tea into the can that I've been using this whole time on this episode, this can here. I had a can opener on the property here, so I was able to open this can fairly smoothly. You see the difference between this can and this can? That can I had to do myself. Yes, the pine needle tea is ready. The way I've got the pan here is I've got it wedged underneath this rock here so that it can't move. See the handle sticking out? I've got the handle there to prop it, to hold it over the fire. It's a good little system. The reason why I did that is because I want to heat up the pan without heating up the handle. It's about that time. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I folded it up 4 times to increase the thickness of the filter, of the screen on top. Now if you have a rubber band, it's better because you don't have to have your fingers there to hold it. I want to be careful I don't burn my fingers. Ooh, that's hot. There we go. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be eating good I'm going to eat directly out of the pan, especially since it has a handle. And I've got my tea cooling down as we speak. And I've got my pot of washing water. So I finally got all my 3 things that I needed. Pot of washing water, some food, and some drinking water with some tea. And I already filtered out the debris and everything using the screen of my mosquito head net. So all is great. I'm going to kick back, just get comfortable, enjoy the outdoors this morning, and then I'm going to get started. I've got chores to do. Yes, the payoff. Have some food. Some tea. That's real good. Okay, so the next priorities after this is I'm going to do some laundry. And then I'm going to repair the cabin. I'm going to set up some traps today. It's all about control. Controlling the circumstances. Controlling the situation. That's what wilderness or self-reliance is all about. Wilderness, survival, outdoor living, bushcraft, primitive skills. But there's a big difference between all those, as a matter of fact. Between bushcraft, between primitive skills, between survival and self-reliance and outdoor living. Self-reliance and outdoor living, you could do it forever. And if you lose the tools, you could do it all again. Survival, it's like a temporary situation where if you're lost or if you're stranded, somebody either comes to find you, you signal for help, or you find your own way out. It's very different. You will bring some tools with you, but you won't have everything you need. So it's a game of a combination of what you got on you as survival. Then you have bushcraft, which is making things out here. Bushcraft is not necessarily primitive skills. Primitive skills has to do with like flint knapping, making axe heads, making rope, burning out bowls, dealing with natural cordage out here, which is vines and stuff like that. So, and natural fires with sticks. Bushcraft has to do with making things out here. It doesn't matter what tools, with or without. It's about craft. Primitive skills, however, has to do with doing things the way that we used to. Our ancestors used to do. So, camping is something else. Camping is nothing like any of those categories. You bring things that would normally let you be comfortable. Like survival, you won't bring a sleeping bag. There's even a difference between survival camping and regular camping. The biggest difference is lightweight. Is the carry. It's what people bring out there so that they're comfortable. When you're camping, as soon as you're not comfortable, the trip is over and everybody goes home. Survival, as soon as it's not comfortable, you make yourself comfortable so that you can stay out there. That's just a quick overview of the difference between camping, survival camping, bushcraft, primitive skills, survival, and wilderness self-reliance and outdoor living. Alright, so now it's time to wash a t-shirt. Definitely. Your first primary layer that you want to wash is your first and under layer. So it's your socks, your underwear, an undertop or a jersey, any bandanas or headwear or gloves. This is my second layer t-shirt. So I've left my first and my third layer on to make sure I stay warm right now. And it's time to wash this out because especially it's day 4 right now. So by day 4, you can believe that you smell like smoke. What you want to do is rinse it out. You wouldn't want to do this over the fire because you're going to put your fire out if any water drips out. I'm going to be careful. I've done this many times before. Just let it sit. It could looks like it could use more water, to tell you the truth. Okay, so I'm going to bring this outside and I'm going to rinse it thoroughly. I'm also going to wring it out outside away from the fire. There's no point to wring it in here. So I've got 3 beams. Zoom out that way. There we go. That's set to dry. There's a little flip over. This is the beam that I'm going to use for the roofing, and I'm going to lay it across. All the roof beams are going to support on this. The ceiling is so low. That's incredible. I want to see how heavy that is. It's not bad. It's not bad. And where's the weight? The weight is already on that. I see. Okay. I'm really hoping this works. I'm going to tie it onto this as soon as I lift it up. Come on. Why aren't you working? Oh no. I didn't want that. Well, since it's up. Beam up. Woo. That's a lot of weight. Yeah, I did it. I don't have to crawl or nothing. Set these beams back up in place temporarily. Fix it well another time. That's what I'm talking about. I just saved myself a lot of time. It's a band-aid system. Of course, I will have to fix this for sure, but for tonight, this is definitely gonna do. Raised roof, I can sleep right here like I normally do. I have a bed mat, raised bed mat, so I can put some wood underneath. As you can see, over the summer I had garbage pails of pine needles and some tree bark, and I still have a container of tree sap. It's resin. It's all flammable material that I got here. That's why this is salvation. If you walk on this spot in the middle of nowhere, this is definitely salvation. This place will save your life. You could live here for the winter if you needed to, definitely. With a winter cabin like this, you have a summer shelter over there, and you got a swing, you got barbecue, you got a wood shed, and you got a picnic table and everything. It's awesome. it's good to handle your weapon, you know? So you get to know how light it is, you know, if you need to switch stance, you know, just get familiar with the fumbling of the weapon and everything. It's also good to know how to torque your knife. You can do something like that. Sometimes your target might be away from you. It's not even a throwing knife, but it's good just to know how to. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the day, and I finished the home repairs here, so now I can sit up. I can actually just sit straight, which is awesome. Before I couldn't even crawl, you know, it was really, the ceiling was about this low, and now it's up here. So the ceiling is taken care of. I got my bed mat here that rolls up and down, and I want to store some wood underneath here before the night falls, so that if it does rain or if it does snow, I don't have to go outside to go collect any more firewood from the woodshed. That's, even though it's just close by, why not have it under here? And I have a little shelf over here I'm going to repair later on tonight. And the fire pit here is nice. It's really big. It's made for winter time, so I don't have to make such a large fire tonight because it's not going to be that cold, and it's also surrounded by rocks from 3 sides, so to allow radiation to take effect, you know, so it can radiate heat back this way. Tomorrow should look really nice. It's been sunny all day today, and the sun is strong. The air is still cold, but the sun is really, really strong. So I'm looking forward to what it's going to look like tomorrow. And we'll see what the weather's like tonight. All I know is that the sun's disappearing really fast, so, which is good. You know, summertime's coming up, and it's a lot more fun. And there's a lot more wild edibles and a lot more trapping that I can do because there's an abundance of life in the summertime. Alright, so let's get to work. I'm first going to put some wood underneath here. And then I'm going to put my supplies in my bag and all that stuff here, get comfortable, and bring in the sleeping bag and all that. So I'm all set up here. So the next thing I want to do is set up a few traps, because I really want to do that before the sun goes down. And we probably have another 3-4 hours of daylight anyways. But I spent most of the day just relaxing and talking to you guys, making some repairs and cleaning up, washing my clothes. You guys, I'm sure you're not interested in watching laundry, you know, so there's only so much I can show in this episode. So, but I got it done, took care of my core body temperature, water, food, sanitation and hygiene, safety and health, and the rest is fun. So once all that's done, we'll just get into the fun. I got to show you out here, the sun's been strong, but the air's been cold, but it's been melting the snow. So I have a feeling that tomorrow is going to look just like the first day. Alright, so we're going to get to trapping. I set up, we're back here, set up at the picnic table. I put the garbage bag out so that you can see what's going on. So I don't want to use up all my parachute cord, and I don't think this will be strong enough. I want strong string. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap string around this as to make sure I don't tear this when it triggers. And this is going to act somewhat like a net. I'm not going to make anything fancy, just something to wrap around the rock so that it's not this wrapped around it. And I'm going to tie this to the netting that I have around the rock. Now, the parachute cord that I have, the way that this works is that I'm going to pull out the strands that are inside, because you have 7 strands that are inside, and you can definitely use them to trap and increase the odds, increase the amount of string that you have. As a matter of fact, you can make yourself a hammock with enough. If you have about 12 feet of parachute cord, you can take the strings out and it'll be enough cordage if you tie together to create a hammock. Now on each one of these I'm going to have to burn the ends. So I could just use an amber from the fire, just a coal, a hot coal, and you just have to place the tip on it. But just for taping purposes, I'm going to use the lighter right here. We're at the end of one. That's 3. 5. 6. Okay. I've got my 6 strands, and the reason why I'm setting this up right now is because one of the rules I like to stick to when trapping is to not disturb the area that I'm going to trap in as much as possible. So if I bring all the resources and all the parts that I need to the location, I can set it up and not disturb it very much. And that's important for the animal to come back to that location, or for it to hang around enough to trigger the trap. So now, probably need about this much cordage to tie around the rock. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one rock and just repeat the process, and not have to worry about filming. There we go. Now that's a knot that won't move in any direction. What I want to do is feed this through it in advance. And that's my snare. Because I'm going to get to other stuff. I'm kind of hungry, thirsty, and I've been busy with tasks all day, so I'm just going to focus on this.